The troubles, the triumphs, and the expectations change according to the stage of a man's life. Men's life are hard lives for the most part. You can do everything right and things can still fall apart. And what stage in a man's life, it really matters when they get it all together. Sometimes it happens very, very fast. Sometimes it takes a long time. And you will come across things that will bring you down and bring you up. But realizing where you're at and what stage of life you are in can help out a lot. And it seems like when you start off, say in school, it's a whole, so it's like your whole world. And then you get out of high school and then you go into college and it's a whole nother world. And you have to keep on starting over. High school, you start over. College, you start over. When you start work, you start over. When you have a family, you have to start over again. You are constantly rinsing and repeating, basically working yourself up. But as time goes on, it should get easier and easier. And it usually does for most if they're on the right path. But that goes back to what you start with. So talking about high school, the 15 to the 18-year-old boy, we're going to go over three things in every stage of life. We're going to go over what you have in life right now. Second, what talents and abilities you have. Third, what kind of baggage do you have? These three things are the main factors that decide how you are doing in life. And in different stages, you handle them differently. So for high school, what do you have in life right now? This one is the foundation to everything in your life. So the most important things are, do you have your biological parents? Do you have your biological mother? Do you have your biological father? The second is, if you don't, then what do you have? Were you raised by a single mom? Are you adopted? Are you living with your grandparents, but your parents are still around? These things, they will affect you like immensely. And sometimes you don't realize it until you get older. The next thing is, do you have enough money? Because are you comfortable? Because those that think that, like they would like to have more, like I grew up poor. I knew what it was to not have, and that can affect you as well. And just having the basics of like do you have everything that you need in life? Not even talking about money, but emotionally. Like is your family there? Do you have friends? That sort of goes into baggage. Next are your talents and abilities. So in high school, like, are you smart? Can you go through school? Do you struggle? You have to have extra help. And then talents and abilities. This is like when you're in high school and you have an expertise, that's when you start to shine. That's the first taste of it. It's like, oh, I am really good at mathematics. And you are testing out of high school into college. That right there is an ability and a talent that you can use in your life to further your whole life and even start a career. And then of course sports are there. That's like a one in a million kind of thing. I think a lot of people waste time with sports, but they do teach you valuable lessons. So I'm not going to discount it. I was an athlete in high school, and it taught me how to persevere and get beat down and work my way up. But going to baggage, just like the first one we were talking about, family. Do you have a strong family? Do you have older brothers or sisters that you can learn from? Are you a role model for your younger brothers and sisters, mom and dad? Again, um, you could knock somebody up. You could have a baby mama. You can be in trouble with the law. Do you have friends? Do you have healthy friends? Do you have friends at all? And work. And do you have like a tribe or a place that you can find good knowledge? These three things are going to propel you, especially in high school. This starts everything out. So the sooner that you can understand, it's like, okay, I am a C student, okay? I am not athletic. Okay. So, but you could get a job. You could work your way up and you could start actually putting yourself in the workplace. That's probably the best thing that you should do. And you should at least pass high school, but find a path. Like, what are you interested in? Like, do you have family members that are in a certain kind of industry? Like, do you have an uncle that's an electrician? Are you like, if you grew up like where I grew up in the Midwest, you do a lot of stuff with your hands. Just find something that you enjoy that you can actually learn from and take that hobby or ability and make it something that you can do after high school. Everyone should have different abilities that they can do besides just playing fucking video games, because that's what most men, especially nowadays, that's all they do is just play video games. You should be able to do something with your hands kind of well. Next, we're going to go to your 19 to 25. This is after high school. This is where a lot of men fall off because they don't know what they're doing. They went from living with their mother and now they're just trying to find out what they're going to do next. If you go to college and you don't know what you're going to college for, it's crazy. But let's start with the three. What do you have in life right now? So you have your high school diploma. Did you have a scholarship? So that's one thing. Do you have a scholarship? Do you have some kind of trade school that you're ready to jump into? Are you going to go into the military? Those are things that you can use into your life right now. And then those talents, do those talents from high school translate into college or your trade or whatever you're going to run into? And then same with the baggage. What did you get in high school that is going to hinder you from moving on? A lot of people get stuck and they think that they have to stay where they're at. I would say from out of high school, that high school transition area, that's when people have to make that decision. It's like, am I going to stay in my hometown? Am I going to stay in my home city? This is all that I know. And for some people, you have to make that decision to leave and to find something else, or just to get more experience, more culture, moving on from what you know. Like, you know what you know, right? So if you never change your environment, then you'll never grow. You'll always be that big fish in a small pond. You have to get out there and be that small fish in a big fucking lake or ocean. Like, get out there. If you aren't sure that what you have right now from 19 to 25, if you didn't go to college and if you're still like working at a fast food joint, like if you're working at McDonald's and you've been doing that for a couple of years, or you're like a manager at a Walmart, it's like maybe you should try something else. Try something else. Figure out something else to do. There's a whole lot of other things that you could go into. There are several things, but you have to have some kind of path. So out of high school, it's all that anxiety. Cool, go to college. If you're academically inclined, then go to college. Actually get a real degree in STEM, something that's going to actually pay you. Or if you feel strongly like about like social work, say that, like that's a lot of what my family does. They go out there and they help people. And you can make money from anything as long as you go to school long enough. But that does take a lot of sacrifice. And for people that don't like school, it's hard. It's something that you have to actually push forward and go into. So understand, talk to people that have been to college and that have a degree, and just understand it's going to be a long, hard road to go down. And there's different things and different aspects that you'll have to know. Like, it's not high school anymore. Like I said, you have to start over. You're going to be that freshman. You're going to be in a place that you've never been. You're going to have a lot of anxiety. Just know that it's going to be a whole different social aspect. And in high school, you get into trouble. You do things that you haven't done before. That gets multiplied by 100 when you go to college, or just getting out of high school, period. So this 19 to 20 is when you have to figure out what you're going to do. And if you don't, then you will suffer and you will make a lot of mistakes in this transition area. And 19 to 25, 21, you start drinking. And for a lot of people, that can throw you off and can get you in all kinds of trouble. So next we have 26 to 35. So this is you should be in your career. You should be like young and ready to start your career and really, or you are in some kind of trade where you're done with your interning and your apprenticeship and you're actually in it. So this is the time where the real building starts. Like for myself, this was when I got I got my ranks up. I bought my first house and I was really starting to invest. And I when you start to see it multiply, like I'm 34, so I'm in this 26 to 35 area. So this is when you start to see things come together. Like you've made your mistakes from 19 to 25. You had your fun, hopefully, and you're ready to you should have a plan or a path. But those that don't, um, by 26, that number three, that baggage, it starts to come up. That means that you've messed up, and if you are still basically if you haven't changed where you're at from high school to 26, that's a big problem, and it's okay because a lot of people do this, and some people don't even start their career until they're in their 30s and all that. So just know at any point, um, you can change anything as long as you have the right mindset. So this 35, this 26 to 35 is also when people start having families, and this is the biggest hit to men. 100% is the biggest hit to men because your whole life you've just taken care of yourself, and we're in a time in a culture where it is all about self. It is all about self. It's only I matter. I'm the most important thing in my universe. And this is when you actually start bringing people into your life. Like you find a significant other that you want to spend the rest of your life with. And then you have a child and you are responsible for this child for their entire life. This is the time, like getting married and being with someone, having a relationship. Yeah, that's cool. Wait until you have a child. It changes everything. You'll just be like, holy shit, I made this thing. This thing is mine and I'm responsible for it for the rest of its life. It is mind blowing and it puts a lot of things into perspective. And for guys like me, it can really like kick your ass into gear for the better. For some people, but you also have to make the biggest decision of your life, and the most important decision of your life is who you're going to spend the rest of your life with. And if you fuck that up, then it's going to be the worst thing that ever happened to you. You won't be able to see that kid grow up. Probably going to hate you because the mom's going to talk shit about you. And yeah, it goes on and on and on. But hopefully you know what you're doing. You are set from 26 to 35. You are in your field of where you're going to actually create something. So next you have 35 to 60, because after 35, man, I mean, you should be the master of your domain by 35. But a lot of guys, they get divorced around this time. I think it's like 35 to 45, that retirement time, because then, you know, you get a little lackadaisical, you get a little lazy, you get a little fat, you start chilling, you're like, oh, I'm about to retire. I'm going to do this and this and this. And you neglect your significant other, or she's already been checked out years ago. She's just waiting for your ass to retire. And you're going to, you know, lose that job. So that paycheck's gone. And then all of a sudden, she's gone. Happens a lot. I have a lot of friends that get divorced when they retire, or they're just like ready to slow down. So you have to keep yourself together for sure. You have, if you do love your significant other and your family, then you have to put time into that. This time, this 35 to 60 is shoring things up for the long haul. It is making sure your wife is enjoying life. Not saying that she's happy, but Happiness is a good thing, but make sure that she is not just chilling, and that she hasn't downgraded herself. Like, if you're letting yourself go, then she's probably doing the same. And guys that let their significant others get fat or lazy or boring, it's sort of your fault as well. Like, you should be the leader of your household. And if your children aren't being raised right and your wife is not acting the way that you want her to act, then that overall that is your fault. And there's probably things that you did that let this get worse and worse and worse. So I always say that it is the man's fault when a relationship breaks up. It's either that if you really wanted it, then you did a bad job of keeping it together. And if you didn't, you probably should have ended it a long time ago. But going to the baggage should be at a minimum. It's no excuse. You cannot blame your parents your whole fucking life. By this time, by 35, are you are past that. So you should be going back to your family and shoring things up with your parents and your brothers and sisters and all that. And the baggage should be gone. The baggage now is what the baggage you made, your kids and your wife. So make sure that your household is in order 100%. But these stages that I went through, at any time, it could all fall through. You could do everything right and you had to start over. The biggest thing is having some sort of tribe or something you can fall back on. We are pushed more and more these days as men. We are told that, gathering is a bad thing. Like, talking to other men is something that just doesn't happen, and we aren't pushed to do it. And you should have a group of solid men that you can turn to. You should have your father or father figure or a man that is on your same level, that's pushing the exact same that you are, going through the same shit. You guys, like, you could be a single dude and you could be married with a couple kids, but a solid dude that is a fucking warrior just like you are, because you should all be warriors. You shouldn't be this harmless dude. You should be a monster in every domain. It's not needed 24/7, but damn, if you need it, it should be there. So in every stage of your life, it is also your responsibility to have men around you, help them, because I guarantee you in your life, you didn't have that man. I know I didn't have those men around me helping me out because they were all struggling as well. So I am super blessed with the decisions that I've made, because I'm super lucky. But to be lucky, you have to put yourself in those positions. So I always put myself in those positions by what I've learned. I've learned to work hard and try to be the best that I can, and not be a nice guy, but be a solid dude. And for some people that may mean something else, but I know what it is for me, and shit, it's fucking done wonders for me. So as men of the world, it is our responsibility to have children and to have men around us that are competent. It is on us to make sure what around us is good. So if you find yourself in any of these stages of life, just just look at what you have in your life and what you can use to make yourself better, and where your shortfalls are, and then just fill those up. And some of the easiest ways to do it is to find other men that you want to be and ask them questions. I'm not talking about these weird dudes that these famous people. I'm talking about real people, real men in your life that whatever they're doing, you're like, damn, I want to learn that. And just ask them a question. Like, don't be embarrassed. Like, suck up your pride. If they are a good dude like you think they are, they will help you out. So just fucking ask, man. And just know that in any stage, it can get better.